So you will see the health and safety hot tub advice notice on the side of the cabin. If you just kindly refer to that before you do use the hot tub. There's warnings about the age of children, anyone with heart disease, pregnant women, etc., and just general health and safety warnings and cautions for you to follow. So the hot tub will be clipped down at the front but not at the back. There's two clips at the rear that we leave open all the time. The ones at the front just clip out of place. The code isn't set for them, but it is 00 if you wanted to use it. And then to open the hot tub, you get to the side of it and gently pull it up and just drop it down onto the cover lifter. And then to open this next section, you hold this bar and you lift it back slowly, and it's fastened onto the hot tub and it just dangles. It doesn't go any further back than where it is now. That's how it stays. So once the cover's lifted up, you can see the controls. There's a control panel at the left hand side that works the temperature. The hot tub doesn't go over 40 degrees. And you can have it anywhere to suit your temperature. In colder weather, it's probably quite comfortable, about 38, 39 degrees. So you press the warm button until it flashes. That's saying 39 degrees, and then when it stops flashing, that's what it's set at. It's showing the current temperature at the moment, which is 35 degrees when it's static. So that's showing the temperature, and you'll see a little heating flame button there, which proves that the hot tub's now starting to heat. So we've gone through the temperature side of the controls. On the right hand side of the controls, the only control that you need to use is the light button and the jets button. Please don't press the menu button, that's for troubleshooting and to reset it back to factory settings, so please don't touch that one. So to turn the lights on, you just press the button once, and if you'll see just there, the lights come on, and just under the water line they come on. Now you can change the colour of them, so you just press it again and it'll go through a sequence. So there's blue, there's green, there's a yellowy colour, purple. It's obviously a lot brighter at night time, you'll be able to see it better. And then the other button that people will want to use is the jets button. So press it once and all the jets will then fire up. Now you can turn them off if you were in the hot tub and people on the far side wanted the jets on but you didn't want them on this side. You would use this button, and this button just switches the jets off on this side. So if you can see now, it's whirling on that side but it's quite still on this side, and it does the same on this side as well. So this button doesn't do anything at all, so don't worry about that one. This button switches the jets up on this side, so you'll see it's on still now. So assuming that you want the jets on, we can put those back on. This button works the waterfall. So just switch that on if you want the waterfall on. Now the jet pump will run for 15 minutes and then it will switch off automatically. If you want it on again, then just press the button again and it will run for another 15 minutes. When the jet button is on, the hot tub is not actually heating, so you will lose a few degrees of temperature. So for example, if you press the jet button on twice, you'd have to remember that the hot tub will be heating for half an hour, so you will lose a few degrees. So if you find it's going a bit chilly, just sit in it without the jets on, and then it automatically starts heating it down to whatever temperature you've set it at. When you've had enough of everything and you want to just get out and move it, you can remember to, first of all, always switch the waterfall off, switch the lights off just by pressing it, switch the jets off, and then close the cover so that it retains the water. The hot tub doesn't need switching off anywhere else at the mains. It stays on constantly and the filters run throughout the time of your stay. To close the lid, you just do it the opposite way round. So use the cover lifter to get the lid down that far. Then move to the front, carefully hold the front section and let it gently fall back into place. You just have to fiddle about a bit just to tuck those little bits back over. And then on a beautiful still summer's day, you wouldn't need to clip these in if you didn't want to, but if it does get slightly windy, you must always remember to clip these covers down just at the front, not at the back, because it will, on occasions, the wind will catch it and lift it up, and then you'd wake up in the morning and it could be full of leaves or could have lost quite a few degrees of temperature. So we keep the chemicals for the hot tub and the glasses for you if you wanted to have a drink outside in this cupboard. When you've finished adding the chemicals, if you'll kindly bring them back and store them in the cupboard just to keep them dry and away from children. There's also a little sponge there just for wiping if you get a bit of a tide lying around the outside of the hot tub, which you might get. So if you just want to use that clean sponge there for that purpose. So each day the water test needs to be tested into the hot tub just to check that there's the right chemical balance. To do this, we use these test strips and read the results off the side of the bottle. So it's very easy to do. These chemicals are the ones that you'll have to add. Probably won't need to add the pH minus. It'll probably just be chlorine, TA and the pH plus. So it's the TA, pH plus and the chlorine, and it says on the bottle the levels that you're looking for. So if it was a swimming pool, you'd look at this one. If it was a hot tub or a spa, we're looking at this one. So you very carefully just get one of the little test strips out, take it across to the, being careful not to touch the actual little coloured squares on the side of the strip. You take it to the hot tub, you press on the jet button, hold the test strip and just dip it into the centre of the water where it's been. Lovely. So just drop it in and pull it out. And then you put it against the side of the bottle just to check. So we're looking for something, it's saying the TA is between 40 and 80, which is a little bit low. The pH is probably 7.2, which is just perfect. The chlorine is 5, which again is just perfect. So on this occasion, we need to just add some TA to the hot tub just to bring it up to the OK level there. Because we need to add the TA to the hot tub, we find the bottle that says TA plus. We get our little dish and our spoon and just add a spoonful at a time. If it's very low, you could add 2 teaspoons. If it's just slightly low, just add 1 teaspoon. And then if you take your dish across to the hot tub, add a little bit of the warm water into it. Dissolve it, taking care not to let it touch your clothes. TA is fine, pH is fine, but chlorine is a type of bleach, and if you get it on your clothes, it will mark your clothes. So always hold it away from yourself. Let it dissolve in the warm water. Take it over to the filter, the filtered part of the hot tub. Just let it go into the water, and then you'll take it through the filters and circulate through. Leave the pumps running for 15 minutes. And then go through the same steps. If, for example, the pH was slightly low, on this occasion the pH was fine, so we wouldn't need to alter it. But if it was slightly low, we would just add 1 teaspoon of pH into there, mix it with the warm water, and then add it to the filters, the filter part of the hot tub, and let it circulate for 15 minutes. The chemicals can all be added in the same 15-minute period, but you've got to mix them up separately. So you mustn't put your TA, your pH and your chlorine all in a pot and mix it in together. Just go through each process separately. When you've done that, you then need to record the results on this test sheet. Now you'll find one of these test sheets in the cabin that you'll need to fill in through your stay. So just go, if for example it was the Monday of your stay, just put the date, the time you do it, the name, your name, whether the water's 5 if it's crystal clear, if it's started to go a little bit cloudy, and then the disinfectant, which is the chlorine level. We're looking at chlorine between 3.5. So we use chlorine in our hot tub. Some people use bromine, some people use MPS. We use the chlorines. So the chlorine on this occasion was 5, so we would write 5 down. The pH was 7.2, so we'd write 7.2. In this bar here, we record the TA. So the TA was low, it was 40. So in this box here, I'd write 2 teaspoons of TA added, and then just leave it like that so I know what I've done. When you've added the chemicals, the advice is don't get in the hot tub for an hour, just to let all the chemical balance settle down within the hot tub. So the best thing to do is probably test it in the morning, and then if you're going out for the day, come back in the afternoon, you know it's all tested, it's ready to just jump into, and you don't need to worry about it. If it's a really hot day and you've been in it morning, afternoon, evening, you might find that you need to test it twice, because the chlorine levels do deplete. The more people that go in it and the more often you use it, the chlorine levels will lower. That said, we do have an in-filter chlorine system that runs through the pumps. So at the start of the holiday, you might find you don't have to add that much chlorine, whereas when the tablets are dissolved and nearly gone, you might have to add a few more of the granules as the week goes on. And then if you leave this testing sheet in the cabin at the end of your stay for us to file, because we do have to keep them for 5 years for health and safety.